era is the Terence Crawford era.
Tyrann got the best matchmakers. You ain't fought nobody, man. We gonna roll him up and smoke him. It's gonna be a one-sided ass whooping.
I know I can beat him. I feel I can beat him. I see myself beating him. You ever fought a champion that was two-way divisions, right?
All the titles I took from the champion. So what you saying?
I like to go fishing. Everybody know.
Man, that's cat. He not catching me with no fishing pole,
hey, listen.
man. What it look like catching Moby Dick with a fishing pole, man?
I got a big enough hook for him. I'm already reeling him in. I'm gonna put him on the bank, gut him, and I'm gonna fillet him.
We Jamaican, man. We smoke bud. So we gonna smoke your ass up.
It's that marinated bud that hit one puff, you might be seeing stars like how high.
He gonna go and stop that nonsense.
If he get out of line, I swear to God, he gonna be the number 11.
I've been getting out of line my whole life. He ain't catching me with no damn fishing pole. I'm flipping his whole boat. I'm sinking him.
Fish fillet.
Smoking on bud. Fish fillet. Trying to really put a hurting on him.
Somebody gonna break, and it ain't gonna be me.
I've been watching some fights. We got 4 weeks left before the big fight between Errol, the true Big Fish Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. I decided to go back and watch some of their old fights, before all this started. I talked about this on a live stream last night. The Fans Perspective, episode 4. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, 4 weeks. Salute to everybody that stopped in last night. We was over there on Bushido Boxing, the original channel. Salute to everybody that showed up, man. We had a really good show, really good panel, really good talking points from both sides. Much respect and love to everybody that showed up in the chat and in the panel on that stream last night. But I've been watching some fights, man. And I think people forgot how good Terence Bud Crawford really is. I think they forgot, because going back and watching some of those old fights and listening to the commentary, it takes you back to memory lane a little bit as to what was going on, what the narrative was in those particular times. And in the case of Terence Crawford, I went back and watched his fight with Breeders Prescott, and that was like his first real lucky break type of moment, right? His first big moment. He was a co-main event of the Brandon Rios Mike Alvarado fight, and he showed up short notice. His opponent didn't show up or whatever the case. British Prescott opponent didn't show up, so Terence Crawford said, I'll fight him. I want to fight. He moved up in weight and fought dude, short notice, right? Terence Bud Crawford went out there and outboxed the shit out of this dude. Thoroughly outboxed him, right? The Colombian dude was supposed to be the puncher, but with some boxing skills. And he couldn't do nothing with Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford was adapting on the fly, showing a variety of different skills. And this is before Terence Bud Crawford, mind you, was at destroying things at 147 pounds. This is long before those days. He was more of a boxer on the back foot and doing things like that. And he was very impressive, even back then. I went back and watched some of Errol Spence's fights where I felt that he was most impressive in. And in the Lamont Peterson fight, Errol Spence showed a lot of really, really fast movements. And I think that type of tenacity and energy that he showed in that fight is what he's going to need in a fight with Terence Bud Crawford. Really fast on the movement. If Lamont tried to cut an angle, Spence was right there with him, fast, right? He was a lot more twitchier in that fight than he has been in his more recent fights. And more Errol Spence's more recent fights, and if I'm honest, he just looks a little bit slow, lethargic. He just looks like he's out of practice. That's kind of what it looks like, right? But his muscle memory is still able for him to do what he does best, and that's beat the shit out of dudes with volume. But against Terence Crawford, I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out that way for him. I still been looking for ways for Spence to win, and Spence does have some ways to win. And one of the ways is to lure Terence Bud Crawford into a dogfight, which is very possible because Terence Bud Crawford likes to fight. He likes to challenge himself. So Errol Spence can use that to his advantage to get an edge over Terence Bud Crawford. Whenever Terence Bud Crawford gets in close, hit him in his legs, hit him in his hips. Yeah, maybe kind of low below the belt, but that's what you got to do, right? Errol Spence going to have to give it his all against this dude because, in my opinion, skill for skill, ability for ability, attribute for attribute, I think Terence Bud Crawford has the edge in all areas, right? Now, Errol Spence is probably going to have the size advantage and durability advantage, but at this point, at 32, 33 years old, He's been cutting down at that, melting down at that weight for a long time now. How will his body hold up? Will his punch resistance still be the same when he's in there with a guy that could actually punch like Terence Bud Crawford? We never quite seen Errol Spence in there with a puncher like Bud, so we're going to see how that fight really plays out. We're going to continue to talk about this, man. This is a very interesting fight. The best matchup that we could ask for currently in the sport of boxing. And like I said, man, I think I suggest you guys go back and watch some of the old fights. I know, we do a lot of talking about who's been ducking who and all this other stuff, but if you go back and watch some of these dudes' fights, then you get a better idea of who you feel is going to win a fight. Some people's opinions may not change. Mine didn't. I already knew Terence Bud Crawford was that guy. It's just a matter of him going out there and really proving it to everybody else. And what better opponent to prove it to the world against than Errol the Truth Big Fish Spence Jr. But it's Errol Spence's job to stop that and cement his own legacy in the sport of boxing. So this is a really great fight, man. Great matchup. Great guys that's partaking in this fight. But like I said, man, Terence Bud Crawford has so many different skills. If you're watching a lot of his old fights, he's just adapting on the fly on these guys. He's taking away their weapons on the fly. These dudes just looking lost, getting frustrated in the ring. And Terence Bud Crawford just as poised and stoic as ever. So we're going to see if he keeps this. I think the key for Bud, though, in this fight is to keep a cool head. Don't get too caught up into the moment. I know he's a professional, he's experienced. However, this is a big fight. And Terence Bud Crawford is a guy that still has a chip on his shoulder like he's out to prove something. And Errol Spence, like I said, could use that against him in this fight with the momentum from the crowd and everything else that's going on with the fight. Errol Spence could very well lull Crawford into his style of fight. Now, it may backfire on Errol Spence because Terence Bud Crawford seems to be very effective everywhere when it comes to fighting. So, yeah, but Errol Spence's best chance is to lull Crawford into a war, right? And Terence Bud Crawford is that type of guy that will entertain such a battle. So, yeah, we're going to see how this plays out. I think Terence Bud Crawford, like I said before, has many ways he can win this fight, many different ways he could approach this fight. And it's up to Errol Spence Jr. to do what he does best, to stifle and stop what Terence Bud Crawford does best. But tell me what you guys think, man. Go back and watch some fights. We go talk about it in the next episode later on this week on episode 5 from the fans' perspective on Bushido Boxing. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.